Ladies and gentlemen, joining us to the program. She is part owner of Gold Star Logistics, Miss Tawana Randall.
Hey,
How are we doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
We're doing awesome. Thank you so much for joining us right here on the number one rated business show on the special edition.
Yes.
But no, before we get into it, trucking has become a huge industry now. Like it's a lot of folks getting into trucking.
Yeah.
Like, why do you think this just major shift in everybody trying to get into the trucking industry with I don't know if it's
'Cause a
the
lot of
increased
money.
delivery or what? Like seriously though, it's a lot of folks trying to get into this world.
Because a lot
It's
of
the new
money.
shiny object, and it's also recession proof. So,
Okay.
trucking is definitely one of those things that you can get into. You can definitely make good money if you do it the correct way. But I recently, I guess with the pandemic and everything going on, a lot of people that have been coming into the trucking industry, one have been doing it like a passive income, and some
Okay.
people just want a change in income, a change in scenery, a change in careers. So we've had teachers that went from teaching to dispatching.
Wow.
We've had people that went from their main careers to driving.
Mhm.
So trucking is just becoming one of those things that people are talking about and people want to get into. But unfortunately, people get into the industry without the proper education or mentorship.
And it's interesting. Now, I want to get into that. First, we'll get into your story, but I wanted you to explain how the industry works because you position yourself very strategically in a way that most people don't. Most people think about trucking as I drive the truck, but you position yourself in a way that whether you had the truck or not, you're still an integral part of the trucking industry.
Absolutely. So when it comes to the supply chain industry, there are several different parts. Transportation is just one of them.
Mhm.
So when it comes to transportation, you have truck driving, getting a CDL and driving a truck, a freight dispatcher, freight broker. You can be an accountant for truckers. There's so many different aspects where you don't have to have assets. You don't have to actually purchase a truck.
Wow.
So depending on how you want to get in the industry, how your capital is looking, you decide to jump into the industry that way. Unfortunately, like I said, people jump into the industry backwards
Uh-huh.
or jump into the industry without the education. And me being definitely one of them.
Mhm.
I jumped into the industry and failed miserably the first time around. Bought a truck because somebody said buy a truck. And we failed miserably. We didn't have the education. We didn't have all the knowledge that came in there. So I use that as a part of my story to just let people know that it's not easy. Just buy a truck and I'll tell you what to do with it. There's nothing to me. I hear people say it all the time, but to me,
Okay.
there's nothing passive about trucking. You got to know what you're doing, even if you're turning it over to somebody else to manage. You want to know what you're doing. You want to know where the money's coming in or why the money isn't coming in.
Mhm.
So you want to understand logistics and transportation in the whole before just spending $70,000 on a piece of equipment and saying, "Hey, make me $10,000 a week and
Yeah.
send it back to me." Like, yeah, okay.
Now, for somebody that wants to be in this industry, because it's so much stuff in the truck right. I mean, government contracts. They paying $10,000 to ship water across town, like
Yeah.
for real.
Yeah.
So, so many folks want to be in this industry right now. What are some things that people need to think about, or what are some things that startups before they run out here and go buy the truck, as you say, people need to start to think.
Definitely educate yourself. I always say start out at the bottom, not necessarily the bottom because I made really really good money being a freight dispatcher.
Mhm.
Okay.
But freight dispatching for me taught me the logistics. It taught me everything as a whole. It teaches you the lanes. It teaches you the terminology. It teaches you about the money. So you get a chance to interact with shippers, brokers, and truck drivers. So you get to learn the basics of the industry before actually going out there buying equipment. For me as a dispatcher, all I needed was a computer
Okay.
and a cell phone and a few softwares to make it happen.
Mhm.
So once I learned dispatch and once I dealt with different carriers with different types of equipment, then from there it was easy for me to upgrade and say, okay, now I want to purchase a truck, or now I want to be a freight agent, or now I want to do something different. But even if you don't want to have an asset or don't want to have that major portion of purchasing the truck, you can literally be in the transportation industry and still make very, 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 very good money.
Now, when you talk about being in dispatch, how does someone even get started? Is that like relationships? I know a few truckers, they need, somebody to kind of communicate in between.
Mhm.
Like, how does somebody get started in the world of, because that's not even something I would think about going into. I'd be thinking
Absolutely.
more buy the truck,
Right.
get the loads, and this type of stuff. So what brought you to that part?
So for me, like I said, once we purchased the truck and I didn't know what to do with it, couldn't figure out how to get loads. The person who told us to purchase the truck and they'd help us out disappeared.
It's always like that when you start the business. I got you, bro. I got you.
Oh yeah. Oh, you got it already? Oh, okay. I'm gonna hit you up later. And I'm like, I got this truck now.
I need some orders today.
So from there, it was just like, I just started Googling and making calls myself because now it's like it's on me. I
Okay.
purchased the truck, now it's on me. But now, fast forward, 7 years later, I teach and mentor freight dispatchers and people how to get into the industry the correct way.
Okay.
So taking a class, getting out there, researching the instructor, researching the actual class, and making sure it's a decent class. Taking a class and getting the knowledge and the education, learning dispatching, and dispatching is something you can do from home.
Mhm.
All you need is a laptop. You can do it at home. You can do it at your desk from your 9 to 5 if they let you.
Wow.
But you don't have to have, you don't have to have a lot.
Let.
I know that.
Yeah.
Trust me. Hey, I'm not gonna say no names, but a few of my dispatchers, they still work their 9 to 5 and
Wow.
they're able to dispatch their 6 or 7 trucks throughout the day.
Okay.
Because a lot of people now are either working from home or they have a little bit more flex on the schedule. But if you're available during daytime hours and you want to learn a new career, freight dispatching is definitely something you can do and learn and maintain a great clientele and maintain a really, really good piece of income
Mhm.
without purchasing a truck.
Now, what does the clientele look like for something like that? Is it the physical truckers that you are trying to bring together as a network, or is it the businesses that need the loads, or is it?
So for me, it's a little bit of both. So starting out, you're reaching out and you're advertising and marketing to carriers and people that own trucks.
Okay.
So if they own a box truck, a drive-in, a reefer, a hot shot, a flatbed, whatever, you're letting them know that you want to arrange freight pickup for them back
Okay.
and forth.
Okay.
So you're up 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, you're looking for freight, you're going out there and you are contacting brokers, contacting shippers, arranging the freight for them to pick up. We're essentially like travel agents for the truck.
Wow.
Tell them what to do, where to go, where to pick up, what time to be there, and so on and so forth. We give them literally their whole schedule for that particular load for that day or for that, for the next couple of days.
Wow.
So
Okay.
our clients are the trucks. My client is the carrier, the person with the truck or the person with the small fleet that's looking for someone to help them move their freight.
So I could personally go purchase 5 big rigs.
I wouldn't recommend it,
Put
but okay.
5 drivers in it, and then I just call you, and you're gonna just load me up with business
It's
and
fine.
take care of all of it.
I got you.
And I can sit back and make money and do nothing.
I'm gonna need you to do something.
I don't want to do nothing. That's what I'm saying.
That's what we call passive.
Yeah,
I like my clients to be involved.
That's the dream.
and understand.
I'm just
But yeah,
saying.
that's definitely the dream, to just know that the trucks are out there and they're making good money.
So I'm going to get me 5 tricycles.
Don't
Get
call
me a
I know
couple
that.
of kindergartners, and we go.
Can you take these Skittles down to Miss Betty?
Hey, that's a good business. You just came up with a good business.
Have some
I like
candy
that.
runners.
Yep.
Candy runs. Yeah.
Now, owning a successful business, you said you're a family person as well.
Mhm.
So what does it look like, family life? Is this something that completely just has to take over and just all day long you managing the business, or do you actually have time to have that life?
Now, yeah. When I first started, no, there was no such thing. Because I was grinding. I started out, I was still full-time employed with Emory University.
Okay.
I eventually stepped out on faith and let Emory go after 12 years.
Woo, I know that one is.
Everybody thought I was crazy. My mom was like, you finna let go of them good benefits?
Not
Oh,
that
yeah.
good job.
Anybody quit a hospital, your folks
Right.
mad at you. Yep. Because that's the best insurance you're gonna get.
Right. But it became hard to try to dispatch and do the job they paid me. So it was either they was gonna fire me or I was
Yeah.
gonna quit. So I bowed out gracefully and just stepped out on faith and did it. And so from there, it just became like a grind mode every day from like 6 o'clock in the morning to sometimes 9, 10 o'clock at night on the phone, on the computer, looking for loads, sending emails, making calls. And, you can feel like the side eye burning back in your head. And,
Mhm.
you don't want to look over there. But I knew my boyfriend was like, how long you going to be?
Not the
I know,
intervention.
right?
You gonna be
Not
doing
the
this, huh?
intervention.
Don't
How
nobody
long
want to
you gonna
hear
do
it, dog.
this
You coming in and all of a sudden you got all family members sitting there
Yeah.
talking about we got to talk.
Right. You think it's okay because you're home. But,
Yeah.
I was literally in my home office for 12, 14 hours a day.
Oh yeah.
I
That's the
sneak
worst.
out.
I tell folks all the time, work from home is the worst thing because
Yeah,
you
'cause
never
you're
stop
not on that
working.
computer,
Yeah.
man. It's like,
Exactly.
Yep.
And then in your leisure times, like, well, hell, I can go in my office and
Go
go
to
get
my
something
office.
done. Yeah.
Yep.
It-
Don't have
it's
nothing to do
it's
but go to
work.
Computer in the
office.
bed. You
Yup.
be in the
Well,
bed
I
with
got
the
out of that
computer.
habit. Well, I didn't get out. I was forced to get out of that habit.
I know he told you don't be bringing that computer to bed with you
I was
now.
walking in there with all these phones and computer, and I was like, "Oh, okay." And I turn around and take it back. Yeah, there has to be some type of balance, and fortunately now I have a team. We have about 87 trucks that we dispatch for,
Woo!
and
That's a
we
lot
have
of
a
trucks.
team, and my team allows me to be out here talking to y'all and building the business while they handle our clients.
See, when I first met Tawana, she said she had a trucking business. And I was expecting the cap, the gold
Yeah.
tooth, the flannel shirt. I like, you don't have no trucking business.
I do have a flannel shirt though.
She said there's more to trucks than just that.
There's more
Now,
to
now,
trucking.
now, logistics has since the emergence of Amazon has become one of them buzzwords that everybody like to throw around, and everybody do logistics nowadays. What is truly logistics, and what is Gold Star Logistics?
So Gold Star Logistics Group is a full service freight dispatch and compliance company.
Okay.
So we're based out of McDonough, Georgia, and we literally handle the trucker from beginning to end.
Okay.
So we can set up their business, we can get their trucks moving, and we can handle their compliance as far as everything that they need for the FMCSA, for the government, and,
Okay.
and for DOT and things like that. We also own Dependable Screening Solutions, which is also located in McDonough, which is a full service TPA and consortium.
Okay.
Every truck driver must have a drug test and be a part of a consortium in order to get on the road. So we do drug testing, fingerprinting, background checks, COVID tests, physicals, DOT physicals, and everything.
Wow. Okay.
So with that, it was just one of those things where it's like, in order for me to be full service, I had to learn different aspects of the industry.
Okay.
So learning the dispatching, learning the compliance portion, learning the, some of the rules and regulations which constantly change with the FMCSA and with DOT, and then learning the consortium and the clearinghouse portion so that we can offer our clients a full array of services.
Wow.
And again, all services that I don't need a truck for, but still, networking and still within the transportation and logistics industry.
But
How
you know
often
that-
do all those changes though? I mean, those regulations, you say they're constantly changing. How do you keep up with all that? I mean, is it like you just on a feed, or you just have to keep
Something
on
like that.
contacting people? Yeah.
You're constantly reading up on the FMCSA blog. I listen to things like Freight Waves. Have a very good business partner, Adam Wingfield, who is always talking about, different changes in the transportation industry. But
Okay.
you plug yourself into the things that are important for you to grow your business.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So you can't just say, "Oh, I'm in business," and then you hear on the street, "Oh, they changed that." Like, "Oh, we have to
Man,
be able to let
yeah.
our drivers
Yeah.
know."
Oh, yeah.
9 times out of 10, the drivers don't know that the HOS hours have changed. They don't know that the waiver, there's been a waiver out there where you can be on the road longer. They don't know these things. So we educate our drivers as well. So
Okay.
if we don't educate ourselves, then it's like someone's coming to us asking us something, and we're like, "Oh, I didn't know that." So
Yeah.
the more education we have, the more we can educate drivers and more carriers and educate our clients as well.
But one thing I want to go back to that you said as you start talking about expanding the business is to highlight once again multiple streams of income, because a lot of times people get so full with this whole multiple streams of income. They think is I own a chicken shop over here. I'm selling Tahitian noni over here. You know what I'm saying? I'm in this. I'm selling.
You ain't
cell
gonna talk
phone
bad about
service.
that noni.
but no, a lot of times,
I
and
get
what
it.
ends up happening, you going in all these different directions, and you ain't getting nowhere, and you drowning everywhere because the simple fact it ain't focused on nothing.
Yeah.
And it's like the people that talk about multiple streams of income, they talking about I got my business, and it creates all these different services and streams from it.
Yeah.
So I love that the fact that you said you opened up to where you knew they had to get the drug test.
Right.
And then you open up somewhere for them to get the drug test.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I wanted the multiple streams of income because, one, I'm not going to tell anybody that transportation is easy. Dispatching is not easy. If you put in the work, you definitely can make the money. For me, when I first started, getting a few trucks here and there, we were doing about maybe $2,000 to $3,000 a week.
Okay.
So, and that's dispatching for about 10 trucks.
Wow.
So which is a lot, but depending on the goals that you're trying to reach, you can definitely make the money.
Okay.
So if you're going to continue to grow in this industry, then why not have all of your streams of income have something to do with the same industry?
Oh yeah.
I can't put on no makeup, so I'm not selling Mary Kay.
Mhm.
People come to me all the time. You would do good with selling that. No, I don't lip gloss that. So I try to stick to what I know and what I dedicated myself to. So if I felt like I was going to dedicate myself to transportation, then why not have the streams that I had be focused on just that one industry versus confused. The only thing I have different is a travel agency, which kind of goes with it because I book hotels
It's the same,
for some of my drivers sometimes. So, so I still get the perks.
No,
so
I'm with you.
Everything that I do, everything that I focus on has to be within this industry.
That is so beautiful. Now, what are some things, because you obviously become just majorly successful at doing this. What are some of those keys that you have found as you have gone through this industry and started doing your thing in it? What are some of those keys that you have found to success?
Prayer.
Say pray about it.
Prayer. I definitely try to stay prayed up and keep that keep God first. My family, definitely my circle, making sure I surround myself with people who are legitimately in this industry and legitimately being successful and that can actually teach me something.
Wow.
Or I can teach them something, or vice versa. And definitely keeping my education and knowledge. Because within this industry, if you don't have that, then you're definitely not going to be able to go far.
Wow. Once again, I keep telling y'all, it's never 1, 2, 3. You know what I'm saying? It's always the inner stuff. It's always, you know what I'm saying? It's always what's going on in your life, more so than what's going on in your business that's affecting you. What are some of the pitfalls being an entrepreneur, having a family, and all this type of stuff that you fallen into?
Being an entrepreneur, definitely your success or your lack of is on you.
Okay.
Working
I love that.
For corporate America that's y'all company.
I don't care if you work or not.
I come in here and do my little piece, if y'all go under, they ain't got nothing to do with me. But if Gold Star Logistics goes under, that's me. That's me all day. That depends on the people I hire. That depends on the services that I offer. That depends on the marketing that I do. Everything that I do makes a difference whether or not I'm going to succeed or fail. Wow. So, being an entrepreneur is 24 hours, so I'm definitely trying to positioning myself now where I'm an owner of the company and allowing people or hiring people to work with us to help the company grow.
Wow.
But definitely being an entrepreneur it has nothing to do with everyone else. It all has everything to do with you and how you handle your business.
That's a key piece.
Oh,
she
yeah.
said it has nothing to do with everyone else.
That's true.
It has to do with you. And a lot of times we let other people run our business that have no stake in our business. And they're telling us what we need to be doing.
Exactly.
You need to be doing
at the end of the day, they leave and go start their own.
They got you buying $70,000 trucks.
Right.
Like, I'm out.
But it's so true in life, and it's kind of sad to say in a way, you can't take no advice from nobody else because it's always gonna be selfish and based off them. You know what I'm saying? It's always gonna be based off what they would do.
And they like to hear themselves talk.
Oh yeah.
Because a lot of times they just say it just to be saying. I remember I had a friend of mine buy an actual Benz based off of me trying to hear myself talk because he asked me if it was a good idea.
Right.
And he was like, "Yeah, man. Now this guy's 6'4", 250 plus, and he was a drop top 2-seater Benz.
Oh, Lord.
And he was like, "Should I get it?" And I'm laughing, joking, just like, "Yeah, you should get it. That's not my money."
Right.
So he went on and bid on it.
Yeah.
And he won the bid.
Wow.
So now he's stuck with his 2-seater. And he's like, "What am I supposed to do with this?" And I'm looking at him like, I don't believe you listen to me. I was just joking.
Right.
I wasn't serious, but it wasn't my investment. So I didn't really.
You had no stake.
Yeah.
But let me tell you other crazy folks, and he just did exactly what most folks gonna do to you. When the advice don't work out, my bad.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey.
My bad, bro. You
That's
just cost me
right.
$50,000.
She told me with the girl, she's like, hey man, I'm like asking her, like, oh, y'all killing in the trucking business. Yeah, just buy a truck. I'm gonna tell you the guy get the contracts and da 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 da. I'm like, shoo, we looking for trucks that day. Like, but
Wow.
as soon as you get the truck, everybody goes.
Yep.
It's no longer their
Like, what I'm supposed to do with this now?
responsibility.
Yeah.
Like, shoot,
Yep.
I didn't know she was gonna do it for real.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So as soon as you get it, everybody goes. Don't nobody want to tell you anything, and that's big for whatever reason in our community. Don't nobody want to share them. Where you get that load from? Oh Lord, girl, I don't remember.
I
I
love
that.
that.
Was yesterday.
I know. I did that in real estate, man.
Yeah,
it was
so-
like all of a sudden the market turned in 2008.
Mhm.
Everybody else knew, but nobody told
Nobody
me.
want to share.
All of a
Yeah.
sudden they were like, "Hey, man, you should have got out last year." I'm like, "You should have told me
You
last
should
year."
told me last
Oh,
year,
yeah.
right? So I could have been walking with you.
Yeah.
Well, Ms. Miranda, if you got any more advice for young entrepreneurs out there, anybody want to get in the trucking industry, if you can just give us just a few tips of what people can do to get started.
Number one, get started.
I love that.
Research what it is that you want to do, where you want to start, whether it's in the transportation industry or whatever. Research what you want to do. Do research on whatever classes it is that you want to take, or the mentor, the person that you're getting. I see people all the time getting mentorship in the industry from someone who's not in the industry. So it's like, how are they going to mentor you into something? So just do your research, check reviews. And after that, sit down and, check your finances, check yourself, talk to your family, and put a plan together and just do it. A lot of times we have these ideas in our head, and then 5 years from now, we see somebody else doing the
it.
idea
Yep.
because
Yeah.
you still have it in your head and you're too scared to get it out of your head. So you just got to do it. One thing I always knew, that I had the skills, I had the degrees, that if need be, I can get me a job.
Yeah.
But it's been 7 years.
I'm with you on that. So you made it past that magical 5
Yeah.
number we talked
Yeah.
about.
So
Yeah.
I definitely recommend anybody, the way that the world is now, sometimes you just have to take a step out on faith and just do it.
Oh yeah.
Don't wait for someone else to agree. Don't wait for someone else to say it sounds good and that's a great idea. It's your idea, it's your vision. Pray on it and make it happen.
So,
Wow.
Tawana, here's what I'm thinking. You've heard about the Tesla trucks and how, the electric truck's going to be the new wave. So I think you should get an electric truck. I'm going to drive it. I'm going to leave
They
Kevin
don't
in the
need
show.
you to drive it.
That's what I'm talking about.
These
You
trucks
see my vision? You see my
Yeah, I
vision?
see your vision.
I'm going to sit in the truck, let it do its thing. And,
monitor.
Lord,
It'll be a truck, like a bus monitor.
Exactly.
Got you. I got you. I hit you up. I'll call you.
Yeah. We need to do that. It's going to make us a lot of money.
Yeah. I'll
Oh
call
my
you.
goodness.
Got you.
I so hope y'all successful with that.
Thank you.
All right.
Oh, so you're not coming.
No, I'm gonna let him go. I'm gonna let him go. They done tried to put me off the show this week. He doing concerts without me now. It's just,
Oh no.
Oh, man.
I give up. I give up.
Can't trust
but
me.
once again, thank you so much for joining us right here on the #1 rated business show. If anybody want to get in contact with you, we got any truckers out there driving around listening to us. If anybody want to get in contact with Gold Star Logistics, how can they do that?
Follow me on IG, Gold Star Logistics. And you can also check out my website at goldstarlogisticsgroup.com. Or you can give me a call, 888-601-0696. Gold Star Logistics Group.
All right. Once again, and it's the #1 rated business show right here on Real 1100 AM iHeartRadio, checking in all over the world. It's the Rockstar KC.
And Mr. Marketology about to drive a Tesla truck.
And we'll be back after this. Lord have mercy.
All right. We good.